morning, everybody. It's New York City, gray, rainy. Answering tips, Maik Wiedenbach, giving tips, answering questions. Sets and reps. How many reps should I do? How fast is that the other? That's an excellent question. So in a broad range, if you, as a bodybuilder, if you're dropping below 6 reps, the weight is a bit too heavy. If you're going above 12, it's probably a bit too easy. But there are differences. For instance, a deadlift, I mean, this is obviously rather light because I'm like super strong, is much more complicated than, let's say, a leg press, right? So the deadlift, naturally, you simply wouldn't go into that high of a rep, you would do more sets with it. You know, think like 6 times 5 or something like that. Then, you gotta consider work is the distance traveled times the weight moved, right? So I have long arms. So for me, like a set of flies is much more work than for somebody with shorter arms. So I might only get 8 reps or so when somebody with short arms might get 10 or 12 or something like that, right? The next thing to consider is how big is the muscle and what's it made of. So calves, a bit more on the endurance side, they could probably be trained with higher reps. Muscles that don't have that much of a volume, they could get more reps during the workout and more volume. But then there's also quality, right? So quality beats quantity, meaning if I get 25 reps per workout like this, where I really push my elbows together, that beats 50 reps of this any given day, okay? Because this does nothing. That gets me to my next point, the rep speed. So the rep speed, and I'm oversimplifying, is that whatever you do, you can be as fast as you want because you won't be very fast. When gravity works, you want to take a 3 count on the way down. So for me, it would be like 1, 2 driving them together, and then 1, 2, 3 on the way out, right? It would also be a good idea to give it a quick hold about here to kill any type of momentum, because you know your body is not a weightlifter. So that's the outline for reps. What about sets? So sets are directly inverted related to the reps, meaning if you do low reps, you should do more sets, right? So what I was referring to, the deadlift, if you're only doing 5 or so reps, you might want to go to 5 sets and so on and so forth. Or you could do something like the leg press where you can do 15 reps easily, but then 3 to 4 sets would suffice. So the number of sets per workout is related to how often you train during the week, right? So I have a friend, because of his schedule or whatever, he can only train 2 whole body workouts Saturday, Sunday. So his sets then are really, really high, right? Think like 35 per workout. Is that the greatest of ideas? No, but that's what he can do right now because of life, okay? Then the number of sets also depends on what kind of muscle you're training. So obviously the legs, you know, being consistent of glutes, hamstrings, so on and so forth, require more sets than the biceps, right? Think of like a 2-to-1 ratio. Even though in America we do more bicep curls than squats, but that's a different story. And then lastly, the number of sets depends also on the factor life. So, you know, have you slept enough? How much have you eaten? How are you feeling today, you know? Because that reverts back to quality over quantity. So if you're not feeling it that day, you reduce the weight, you know, you cut some sets out, but you make those sets as perfect as can be. As opposed to having the whole workout garbage sets, you just maybe take 2/3 and make them quality, okay? So to give an example, when I was swimming, there were 2 guys always stayed behind in the pool, racking up another 2,000 yards. But they swam so slow, those 2,000 yards, it made no difference. It was just garbage yardage, okay? So if you are adding sets that are way below your performance level in execution, weight and anything like that, is no point, okay? So what you want to do is like, you want to judge, how often do I train this week? How do I feel? How do I sleep? And what are my windows of training? And then from there you can determine the amount of sets that you do, okay? So, and as for the reps, like I said, don't go below 6, don't go above 12. Keep the tempo steady. Keep in mind, do I have short legs? Do I have long arms? And again, just read the sets. Quantity does not beat quality. Okay, so this does not give you pec gains than this. And with that, Mike out.